Earthlings. You might wonder why I appear to be sitting today in front of a gravestone that says blood on it. That's because it is my favorite gravestone in this graveyard, and I came to the graveyard to shoot my YouTube video this week because I almost came here as a permanent resident this week. And if my voice sounds a little funny, that's because I'm still kind of sick, but I'm still alive. Possibly not for long, because I saw a really weird spider on my leg a bit ago. Anyway, so, story time about why I was wound up in the graveyard. I'm sorry. I thought I wouldn't be doing that as much today. So, last Wednesday night, I had been sick for a couple of days, just with like a cold that I thought was allergies, but then I got a fever, so I guess it wasn't, or something. And Wednesday night I was feeling a bit better, my fever got away. The people that I live with had another commitment that was supposed to be my commitment too, to volunteer somewhere. And so they went out, and I was just like, oh, you don't even have to, you know, turn your phones on probably, I'll be fine, you know. Like, I'm not gonna panic and call you guys again, why would I do that? So they left, and they didn't turn their phones on, and I was home alone. And for the first like 2 hours, I was fine. I was working on my journal, I was watching TV, I was doing everything I knew to keep my fever from surfacing, because I was really afraid of fevers. Like, you know, just kind of always checking on myself, just anxious things. And finally, around like 7:30, I was just like, okay, this is around the time I started having a fever last night, so I'm gonna go take the thermometer out and check and see if I have a fever tonight. So I went and I got the thermometer, and I measured out the time, and my throat didn't feel too hot while I was doing it, so I was like, maybe I don't have a fever. And I pulled it out, and I looked at it, and it said that my temperature was 96 degrees. And I was just like, that don't sound good, that sounds weird. And I started looking at it, and I was like, 96 degrees. I've heard it being 97 maybe, but 96 sounds awfully low. And I happened to be talking to some of my friends in a group chat, and I think Lauren was the only one online, so shout out to Lauren again, 2 weeks in a row. and I was just like, is it okay to be 96? And she didn't really answer. She was doing something else, I think. And I went onto Google, and I Googled it, and I was just like, is it okay to be 96 degrees? And they said that 95 degrees is hypothermia and you die. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am about to die. And from that second, I'm sorry, it feels like a spider's biting my butt again. From that second, I immediately began to panic. I began to walk around the house going, okay. I put my hoodie back on. I was like, okay, I need to do something to warm up. I need to eat something or something, because I hadn't really been eating and I was really hungry. And I was panicking so much, but then a little bit later, I was just like, I just need to check and make sure that I'm really 96, because something about this feels a little wrong. I'm not that chilly, and I should be freezing. I'm in hypothermia practically. So I went and I took my temperature again. It still said 96. And then I looked at it for a tiny little bit longer, and I realized that I can't read a thermometer, and it was just 0.2 of a degree below 98.6. Drum roll. I am literally that stupid. My framing on this is terrible. It's so bright out here that I can't see my face. I'm sure I look terrible because I'm squinting too. But you know what? I look terrible because I have tissue burns all over my face from blowing my nose all week. So whatever. Anyway, I was so stupid. And I was convinced I was going to die. So then I was just like, oh, praise the Lord, I'm not going to die today. Woo! And then I went to the sink. I washed the thermometer off because I wanted to be really responsible and have a nice clean thermometer. And as I finished, I tapped the thermometer on the side of the sink, and then the thermometer broke. And at first I was just like, oh, I broke the thermometer. Mom's gonna be annoyed when she gets home. But I wasn't really super concerned about it, and I happened to mention it in that group chat, and that's when Lauren came back and she was like, oh, is it a mercury thermometer? Because when my mom broke a mercury thermometer, she called poison control. And I was just like, you know, I don't know. It wasn't digital. It could have been alcohol, but a lot of mom's stuff is really old. So maybe it was a mercury thermometer. So then I immediately start Googling again, trying to figure out if my thermometer was mercury. Like, what do they look like? What color is the, did that spider bite me? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, I might come to live here permanently after all. Because look how red my skin is. Goodbye, cruel world. Anyway, I'll finish telling the story before I die. Oh my god, it's so red. Okay, so I keep Googling it, and then it turns out that mercury can be airborne, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be poisoned to death just from breathing it in this living room. So I went over, I opened the window, I stood in front of the open window breathing the air, started trying to call my family members, which obviously they were not on because I had told them that they could turn their phones off, and so they were not available. And because I thought at least my sister would have her phone on anyway, but she didn't. And finally, when they got back, Mom was just like, you've been fretting this whole time about that? That was an alcohol thermometer. And I was like, so yeah, I cheated death twice in one night just to come to this graveyard, in front of this grave, get bit by that spider, and probably die anyway. Goodbye, Earthlings. It was nice knowing you.